now watching Chad 76 Media.
So this is Cadwell Park, and this is going to be one of my first video diaries on my BMW R1200 nineT that I've got on long-term loan from BMW. So there it is, the bike. Now I've had it for a few months. I've done a bit of commuting, a bit of motorway miles, not done a huge amount, but it's done 1,000 miles, so I thought it was about time we took it to a track and put it through its paces. And what better track than Cadwell Park? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the bike completely standard. I rode it here to Cadwell, Continental rubber, 70 miles I think it was here, fueled it up just before I got here about 10 miles ago. And what we're going to do is run it completely standard, then I'll drop the tyre pressures, then I'll probably start to tweak the suspension, and then we'll see where we are at the end of the day. Cadwell Park is a phenomenal track, nice, tight and twisty, not too fast. I'm in the fast group with loads of race bikes, so it should be amusing. If I can, I'll try and get some GoPro footage. If not, it's going to be all handycam stuff, I'm afraid. But yeah, I'll give you an update on what the R12 is like as a bit of a fun track day bike. I know I'm the only road bike in the fast group, so at least I've got that as a thumbs up. So we've done 2 sessions actually, because the first session is like sighting laps. We've dropped the tyre pressures to 32-30, which does mean I've got a big red warning on the dash because it thinks I've got a slow puncher. But you can press one button and that kind of dissipates a little bit. The suspension we've left standard. Traction control I've switched off because it's a little too intrusive coming over the mountain when you wheelie. So I've turned the TC off, but everything else is still on, and I'm just riding around in the standard road mode. Let me give you a little look. So the Continental rubber is doing really well. It's blistering up quite a lot, but it's quite smooth. It's not ripping itself to shreds. It's just as you'd expect. The problem I've got is ground clearance. So the pegs are grinding away, which is not so bad at the moment, but I don't want to go any more because I don't want to touch the cylinder heads, which I have done on boxes before on track. So on some corners I'm going quite wide with the apexes, so I don't grind anything out because the curbs are quite high at Cadwell. But in terms of overall performance, it's performing pretty well. Like the gearing, like it's 3rd over the mountain, 3rd through hall bends, 2nd for the hairpin, back to 3rd for barn. The start finish is 5th, and the back straight is 6th. The gearing is actually pretty good, but the joy of it is you can really come out the corners really low in the RPM using 3rd or even 4th. As I say, it's 3rd over the mountain, which is quite surprised. I thought it'd be 2nd, and I'm not even using 1st gear. But because we're affecting with the ground clearance, what we're going to do is just tweak the preload. Probably go a turn and a half, maybe 2 turns of preload, which will just change the ride height on the rear a bit, which might give us a little bit more ground clearance. And then we'll do one thing at once, and then we might change the preload on the front later on. That's session 3 out the way, which is good fun because I'm sharing a track with some BSB guys, so I'm trying to not get in their way. The limitation is just the ground clearance, not the tyres, not really the performance. ABS is a little intrusive, but not much. Gone from road to dynamic mode, which has made a big difference, quite a noticeable difference in how much it revs. Don't think it makes that much more power or that much more torque. It definitely, like, you can hold on the revs a bit more. It's more towards the top end. And then 1 turn and a half of preload on the rear. It's giving me a little bit more ground clearance, a little bit more ride height. It's still touching down in places, and that's the limitation. So I'll maybe change the front preload now, maybe 1 full turn or turn and a half, depending on how much adjustment I've got. And then we'll do another session and see where we are from there. So that's it from MSV track day here at Cadwell Park. That's it for BMW's R12 nineT. Really impressed with what the bike's doing. The lap times are impressive. I had to drop from the fast group to the medium group because the fast group is full of BSB guys who are all getting ready for BSB. But we managed to pass a few bikes. We lapped at a reasonable pace and we had fun, and that's what track days are about. And this is standard with standard tyres that I rode here, and I'm going to ride home. We're not at Cadwell anymore. We are literally riding home from Cadwell, which is about 60-70 miles for me. Suspension's back to normal, tyres back to normal, back into road mode. MPG has gone from 29, 28 to nearly 50, and we're riding home. So there's not many bikes that you can ride to Cadwell and then change suspension, have a great day and just ride home. Well, not many retro kind of cafe races anyway. At the start of the video, I thought the limitations were going to be the Continental rubber. I thought they were going to be sliding, moving and not up for the job, wouldn't be able to take the weight and the Cadwell Park really, but I was wrong because they've done really well. The limitations has been the foot pegs, which are now shorter than they were to start with. I think I could have gone more with the suspension, but we're just out to have some fun, and it has been fun. Done a lot of miles today at Cadwell, thanks to MSV. Had some really good fun. The Continental rubber, we're riding it on the road now, and this should all start to disappear. The rear's not so bad either. I mean, they're all legal, just a little bit worn. The pegs, I've still got a little bit left. And yeah, just enjoying the R9T for the ride home. We've got cruise control, it's reasonably comfortable. I've taken off that preload so it's soft. Taken off the compression and the rebound, it's all back to standard. And it's plush and lovely and comfortable, and I'm just going to take a nice steady ride home, leave the racing for the racetrack, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the little kind of video update diary on my BMW R1200 nineT. If you've got any questions, fire in below as usual. Next time is going to be a big journey. So I'm in North Yorkshire, heading down to Somerset. Let's see what, I think it's going to be probably 600-700 miles in 2 days. I'll give you an update.